Hey guys, welcome back to another Urban Wargaming video, and today we're going to be having a look at my pride and joy, my Death Guard army. I'm not going to go through every single unit, I'm not going to pile the entire army up, simply for the fact that I do not have the space. That might be actually something I cover in another video, just kind of sticking the entire army on the table, and just having a look at how big it is. I think it stands at the moment that I've got 110 Plague Marines built, with I think about 50 more to go, but I'm not too sure whether I'm even going to build those, because I'm just never going to use that many Plague Marines, to be quite honest. So this is a pure Forge World, like, what do you call it, upgrade kit army. So everything except like the vehicles and that kind of thing, or even some of the vehicles have the upgrades on them, but every single one of the Death Guard actually have the Forge World upgrade kits. I got a great deal from a mate who didn't want to do the army anymore, and so I ended up with all his stuff. I actually had, previous to that, I actually had a Death Guard army to begin with, so it was a great filler for the army. But what you can see in front of you is, over here, got one of the rhinos. It's a very true kind of Death Guard army. There is very little vehicles in this army. I think I've got 2 Land Raiders and 2 rhinos, and that's literally a Land Raider for the Chaos Lord that I've got, a Land Raider for Typhus, and 2 rhinos for the sorcerers if I want to use them, just for the fact that I really like the fluff and I wanted to kind of keep it relatively true, really. Death Guard were a bit more of a foot slogging army, and so I've really only given like the guys who would have had any form of transport just to get them to the front line or whatever, or get them around the battlefield easier, transports. So moving around, we can have another look back at the unit in front of us. In front of us you've got one of the sorcerers. My other sorcerer is actually the same model from Forge World, but with an axe, and the weapon swap looks really cool. Neither of them are actually the weapons that Forge World came with, just because I live in the tropics. The resin bent because they were so small. So he's actually got a Grey Knight halberd, I think it was, and I just drilled into that and kind of cut it up a little bit, bring him forward a bit. And then the other guy here kind of got one of the Chaos Terminator axes, and I'm pretty sure that's the staff from the Sorcerer Lord kit. You can see it, there we go, hit the light a bit. So it's a Chaos Terminator axe head with the Sorcerer Lord's staff. There was a lot of bits that I've got for this army. I think I've got 3 Chaos Lords in total, like the kits from Games Workshop that I just wanted the cloaks and everything for, just so I could build this army. As I said, this army is my army that if I play a game, it's my first kind of go-to. As I said, I have about 110 Death Guard, and on top of that I think I have 30 Chaos Terminators, all with the Forge World upgrade kits. And so I'll just clear this away and we'll have a look at the Terminators. So guys, here are the 4 Terminators in Typhus. These are the only Terminators I actually have painted up, seeing as they're the ones that generally go to battle with Typhus. Generally all piling into a Land Raider and zooming across the battlefield to smash some face. I just love Typhus. I love the model. He's used in pretty much every game I play of 40k. He was one of the very first miniatures I ever bought for this army, and as is the way, you generally field those first models unless they look really terrible in games. Fortunately, I did a pretty good job on Typhus, and as you can see, you probably can't see, but he does have magnetized arms for his Man Reaper. I'm pretty sure I just might have broken him. No, there we go, he's all good. And then down the back you can see, this is when I still had only the one lot of Lightning Claws for my Terminators. So you can see the terrible magnetizing job down the back there. But hey, it was my first attempt at ever magnetizing. He was the first miniature I ever magnetized, screwed it up royally, and since then have actually bought more Terminators. So now I think I have 5 Terminators that I can actually field with lightning claws, not including this guy. So I've actually got to pull those magnets out and I'm just going to glue his arms. That'll just be a big unit of lightning claw Nurgle Terminators that can run around and chop a lot of things up. But this is very much the I can deal with anything unit. Just because it's got the Warlord in it, I didn't really want to have it charged by a Dreadnought and then not be able to do anything. So Typhus kind of sat there and couldn't really hurt the front armor of a Dreadnought, which has kind of changed now that axes have gotten the buff that they have, now that Typhus's Man Reaper counts as an axe. But even then, just having that one Chain Fist in the unit, because they are a hard unit to kill, especially if you sit there and you cast Biomancy from a sorcerer on them, like one of the psychic powers from the Biomancy table. But even just for Plague Win for Typhus to run around with is pretty badass. So guys, that's the Terminators. Now I'm just going to show you a Dreadnought, and then we may even, or a Hellbrute should I say, and then I'll show you the terribly painted bikes I have, and then we can move on to some other stuff. So I'll just drag those out for you and give you a look at those. So guys, this is the Forge World Dreadnought that I was just talking about. I'm going to call it a Dreadnought. I really hate that they took Dreadnoughts away from Chaos, but I can kind of get it. As you can see, unfortunately one of his claws snapped off and has never returned. I am really pissed about that, but maybe one day I'll get round to making one out of plasticard. But even with it missing, it doesn't affect the look of the miniature too much overall. I really like this Dreadnought. Not even because they're so good or anything, I just really like the look of them. This was probably one of my very first Forge World purchases, was this Dreadnought. I actually have two of the Plague Hulks. They were probably my second purchases, and then following up with that, I think the Sorcerer was actually with this Dreadnought, and then I started to order the Forge World upgrade kits for this Death Guard army. So that's the Dreadnought. I'll give him a bit of a spin, hopefully he doesn't fall over. He's only pinned to the base ever so slightly. I picked out all these like pustules in orange just because they look really cool. As you can see there, the Chaos Star has got a bit of rust running through it. The arms on this are magnetized, just if I did want to change it. I haven't ever really got round to buying another set of arms, but I don't think I ever will. I don't play with this guy all that much. He's just kind of a points filler when I find that I haven't got anything else to play with. So that's the Dreadnought, and then I'll take you around to the very poorly painted, they're only really half painted Death Guard bikes. So that's what we have over here. So as you can see, they've all got melter guns, fairly poorly put onto the models, but each of the bikes have got their own character. As you can see, this guy's kind of looking around. The weathering powder was only just put on, and then I've got to kind of wash that back a bit and try and get it to sink into all the cracks and whatnot, especially around the front. The base is only just started to be done, and the actual model itself probably needs a couple more washes. I really paint my Death Guard fairly simple. It's base Caliban green, dry brush Lauren Forest, wash with Athonian Camo Shade. That is the most amazing wash for painting Nurgle, just because it's like it's in between whatever the new Devlin mud is. I can't actually remember the name, and it just looks very oily and dirty, so it definitely fits the theme of this army. Here you can see the champion of the unit. This is definitely, if you couldn't guess, it's for popping vehicles because they are so hard to kill. So many points though, a lot of points go into this unit. As you can see, they've also all got the Forge World upgrade kits as well. I can I've only just started doing base coats on this guy, and the beginning of the weathering. I like to put the weathering down first, like powder wise, simply because as I wash over it, I'm not sure whether it's because the wash has got a slightly alcoholic base or something similar to that, but the washes seem to thin out the weathering pigments very well, and it kind of drips all over the miniature. That's kind of how I got the effect on here. You can kind of see how the rust is still there, and you can see it quite well, but at the same time it's not domineering, and it doesn't take over the miniature like it does on these ones. If I was to leave it like that, you'd be like, oh, that's a shite load of rust, what's even happening there? That and things like chipping and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, that's the Nurgle bike unit. I'm not going to go through anything else in the army today. I think that's enough. Next time I'll probably cover the demons from this Nurgle army. I do have, like, I think it's just an allied detachment. I think it's 1500 points in grand total. So I'll take you through that, and I might even take you through some of my demon engines, stuff like my Forge Fiend. Might show you the Plague Hulks that I've done, and that's about it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if there's anything more you'd like to know, and I'll catch you next time. Catch you later, guys. Bye.